Gossip truth. We're going to be talking about Elizabeth and Zacharias. You know, John the Baptist's parents. And so we meet them in Luke chapter 1. And Luke gives us a pretty good description of who they were, what they were about. So we find out that Zacharias was a priest. He worked in the temple. And at the time that they get this news that they're going to have a child, Zacharias is at work in the temple. People are outside. And they're wondering what's taking him so long up in there. Like when you go to church. You go to church and church's supposed to be over at X time. But this Sunday, you had the singers want to sing too much, shouters want to shout too long, don't get to testifying, and let's be honest, sometimes it test the line. But they're up there and you have somewhere you need to be. You had it timed perfectly. You can't, for the life of you, seriously, for the life of you, you can't figure out why they can't keep with your schedule. Now, barring all the fact that everybody else done had the microphone, here comes the preacher. I'm all for wanting to hear what God has to say. But I'm looking for the cliff notes by now because everybody else has been up here so long. I'm looking for some cliff notes. Hey, preacher, can you cut that short a little bit? I mean, can you give us some study time, some homework when we go home and read the rest of this? Better yet, can you just post this? Do a video or something so I can do that while I'm. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to wait. I know you're closing. Weren't you just closing 5 minutes ago? Oh, anyway, so Zacharias and Elizabeth, they had right standing with God, but they had something missing. Children. Now sometimes those of us with children, we want to ask Zacharias and Elizabeth, do y'all not understand what you're asking for? Do you know these children would run you crazy? Like completely crazy. I wasn't like this before. And y'all want a child. And y'all been praying for one for how long? Y'all need to give that up. Y'all need to be asking God for something else. Because a child at y'all age, come on, stop it. So Zacharias, he comes out of the temple. He can't talk, so we don't know what's going on with him. And come to find out, Elizabeth, because she can talk, she tells us some remarkable things. She tells us that Zacharias was in the temple, burning the incense and everything, and Gabriel shows up. Nobody else don't see Gabriel, but Gabriel shows up. And we go, okay. Got a message from God. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not. And apparently it wasn't too good for Zacharias because he came out, he couldn't talk. So he had some squaring to do. As you know, when priests go in and he's got sin on him, he ain't coming out. Okay? Not coming out. Not on his own. He'll be pulled out, but he's not coming out. So he comes out of there. He can't talk. He must have talked too long in there or something. I don't know, because we've been out here waiting for whatever. I don't know. That day we had been there so long, I was thinking my stomach was touching my back. But anyway, she tells me that the angel told him that they're going to have a child. That she was going to bear a child. Not, them having a child, yeah, somebody could come and drop a child off and they take care of the child, say, hey, I can't do this. Can you take this child, please? In the African American community, some years ago, that was the norm when, younger women would have children. Some older woman would take that up. Oftentimes a grandmother, aunt, a sister, sometimes just a kind person in the neighborhood, and raise that child as their own, and nobody knew was the wiser. But nope, this isn't what the angel told her. He said, she's going to bear a child. So I can imagine Zachariah, Lord, well, just shut my mouth. If that's going to happen. Well, that's exactly what happened. God shut his mouth because it was happening. And anyway, but before we saw everything, I'm listening to her, and she's trying, girl, give me some more coffee or something. In fact, you know what? Give me some of that fermented stuff you got in there. Because I'm going to need something stronger than this. You telling me this stuff here. Because I'm looking at you, and, you're glowing and everything. You're looking about pregnant. What? It's who's... Come on now, stop playing. You know and I know that both of you are old. You and Zachariah. We're friends and all, but you're just old. And y'all ain't have no children this long. Now, all of a sudden, the day he's at the temple, you find out you're going to have a child. And he's going to be the daddy. Right. What's that boy name that keeps the sheep? That's always looking out for you when Zachariah's gone. Joe. Okay. And we call him Jody. Yeah, Jody. That's the one. Okay. Was Jody here while Zacharias was at the temple working? Because we didn't see you. And when he came out, we couldn't ask him where you were because he couldn't tell us. So maybe he knew and wouldn't say anything. That's probably what it was. He probably could talk, but he didn't want to say everything because he didn't know what to say, what was happening. Anyway, girl, you are pregnant. I see that. That ain't the lie. You said who? And then you said, okay, now you want me to believe that the angel talked to Zacharias. Okay, I got that. And then you're saying that same angel came and talked to you? This isn't the same person that had to bring something to Zacharias that you sent him to the temple because he says, hey, I need to get this to Zacharias. I remember him stopping by that day to the temple, but is that the same person? That's the same angel we're talking about? Okay. All right. Because Zacharias left the incense here at the house, and he needed to bring some there for him because... Yeah, okay. All right. That's the angel. Child, she telling me about some angel. I know what angel it was. Y'all know what angel it was. So, she's saying he's going to have a child. And he said that the angel told him he's going to rejoice. Rejoice? Do y'all know what y'all asking for? Y'all had peace all this time in your house. You didn't have nobody tearing up nothing. You didn't have nobody that you had to yell at. You definitely didn't have anybody you had to tell to wash dishes. But hey, y'all still want this? Okay. So when the angel told Zacharias, you're saying Zacharias was like, yeah, I've been asking for this guy, but hey, it's kind of late in the game for that for me. So miss me with that one. Let me ask you for something. Let me ask you this. And you said the angel told him that he was going to shut his mouth until it happened. Right. So Zacharias said, well, I tell you what, then you just shut my mouth until it happens. So Girl. Then Elizabeth, she had to spike my coffee because I didn't know what to think right now. Because girl, I don't know what she's trying to tell me, but this is what she want me to believe. Okay, all right. So now the story gets even better than that. Okay, so not only does the angel tell him that his prayers has been heard, you know, like I said, for me, I'd have been like, listen, God, I know I asked you that for way back then, when I had strength and I was crazy enough not to know any better, because I hadn't seen too many people with children, but, ooh, the children, I've seen some of these people children. Want that at my house? No. Forget I asked you that. That's what I would have said. But anyway, no, he didn't say that. He just told him, listen, if it's going to happen, you just shut my mouth. He was like, you didn't even believe it. Now that I could believe, because let's be honest. We don't believe everything God tells us, even though it was Elizabeth and John and they was pretty cool and they had a pretty tight relationship with God. We don't always believe what God say. So I can believe that part. He didn't believe it if it happened. But anyway, but I'm seeing you pregnant now. That's what I'm trying to get. So you're trying to tell me that it wasn't you? You always thought you couldn't have children. But it was always him that couldn't. I bet that's what it was. You just said you was barren so that he wouldn't look as bad. Because child, your man don't have a child, let alone a son. He can't go down to the pool hall. You know he can't go to the cigar bar and sit there and talk smack because they're going to ride him real quick. Now, you said he told you that this child going to be holy. The Holy Ghost. What is the Holy Ghost? Filled with the Holy Ghost. That's some holy nonsense that you just told me. That's some holy nonsense, girl. What else you got in your coffee? You burning incense around the house? And in a small room or small area where you can really smell the incense when it's burning. What kind are you burning? That don't sound right to me. So you come here, well, I come to your house, because I like coming over here because y'all have some funny stuff. Y'all believers in God, and you follow this way of life that that honors God and everything like that. And I always enjoy coming talking to you because I usually get some good sound information from you, and I usually can live by it. But this nonsense you trying to tell me, girl, what in the world? You want me to do what now? You want me to believe this for real? I'm trying to work with you here, but it's just so hard, right? So I said, girl, whatever gets you through your day for you to tell us about this pregnancy, if you say it's of God, okay, we'll go with that. Let's go. All right. Hey, I got to go. I'm going to talk to you later. Then I went back to their house a few weeks later. Actually, maybe a couple months because, we get busy, child. We keep getting water from the well, got to till the ground, got to make sure we're ready for harvest. All this kind of stuff is going on. And I go by there and she has a cousin that came to visit. Now you want to talk about something crazy. Now see, listen, they say stuff runs in families, right? Okay. So her little cousin comes. She's not married yet. She says she's engaged, child. But she's pregnant too. Now, you think Elizabeth and Zachariah's story was unbelievable? Well, I just told you, stuff runs in families. I don't know what they got going on, but this young girl, she really is touched with this family illness. She said she was still a virgin. Yeah. She said the same angel. Now I don't know how he must have borrowed one of the donkeys and went over there to Mary's village, but anyway, said the same angel visited her. Okay, this is a busy angel. Visited John. We understand, John needed something at the temple. He left something home. The little fellow sent to the, okay, fine. But meanwhile, I don't know. And then here comes a cousin with another extraordinary situation. She says not only did the same angel tell them this, but she was overshadowed by the Holy Ghost. The same Holy Ghost now. Now remember, I just told y'all, Elizabeth said that the child was going to be filled with the Holy Ghost, or was filled from birth with the Holy Ghost. Okay? She's saying that the same Holy Ghost is supposed to be in Elizabeth's child overshadowed her, and that's how she got pregnant. Come on now. You would have to be a believer to believe that. I'm just saying. But anyway, so I told you that the angels told John he was going to shut his mouth until it happens, right? Hey, again, I'm just telling y'all, this is what's on my mind. So, come to find out that Zacharias is also now saying the same thing. Okay? Elizabeth has this child, and in verse 57, when is this a long chapter? Luke, he had a lot to say in chapter 1. He had a lot to say. But guess what? You're kind of glad he did, because this is a lot going on. Okay? You got this angel running around, meeting up with people, telling them that God sent stuff, right? And he had sent these messages, and not only in one case, he sent himself and overshadowed somebody. But okay, here we go. So the child is born. Now you know why everybody came to see this child, right? No, not because it was a miracle. I want to see who the child looked like. Okay, features. You're looking at the child. Looking at John. Look at the child. Look at John. Look at the child. John. Same nose, same eyes. Wow. Kind of got Elizabeth's smile, but what? Now, stable boy don't look nothing like them, either one of them. So I'm gonna have to probably kind of begin to lean on some of this extraordinary stuff and be like, maybe. Cause I'm telling you, this stuff here is, whoo, child. Anyway, so now they asked John, you know, hey, it was the dad's duty to tell everybody what the child's name is. Now I told you that Elizabeth said that the angel told him what to name the child. So Zachariah names the child John. Ain't nobody in the village named John. Where did they get that from? Oh yeah, said the angel. So I'm starting to kind of, like I said, Elizabeth always used to give me sound advice. But I'm kind of really holding fast to that right now because everything she said is coming true. I mean, I'm telling you, it wasn't something you were gonna easily pass by me. Just wasn't. And so not only that, but y'all remember when I told you that the angel said he was gonna shut Zachariah's mouth? Well, John didn't write down. Zacharias didn't write down John's name. He spoke his son's name. And I'm going, whoa, what you say? Uh-uh. I'm going to have to go rethink this God thing because this is bigger than what I thought, child. But while I do that, you all just, check this story out. Check it out. Just read Luke chapter 1. Read the whole thing. Go in prayer. You're going to need some prayer. And, see what God speaks to you. That's the gospel truth.